Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to check the Flywoo Firefly 1S Baby, a very fun to fly, small sized 1S micro quadcopter. In this video I'm going to quickly go over its features and specs, give you my feedback after testing it for the last couple of weeks, and show you some flight footage. First of all, the Firefly 1S Baby is available in both plug-and-play and bind-and-fly versions. The plug-and-play version will require you to add your own radio receiver, which in turn will require some soldering work, and the bind-and-fly versions are available with multiple radio receivers. The options are getting an external Express LRS receiver, which is the version that I have. You can also get a version that comes with a Crossfire Nano receiver, and another version that features a built-in FrSky SPI-RX receiver in the flight controller. And although I haven't tested this version, according to my experience with SPI-RX receivers, it is not going to provide you with a sufficient radio range, and it is going to be outperformed by the VTX, so you should better get a version with an external radio receiver. In addition, you should note that recently the Baby 1S was upgraded, and all the units that were shipped after September 14th feature a reinforced bottom plate that will enable you to mount the battery both horizontally and vertically, and it is also using a GNB27 connector instead of the PH2.0 connector, which is used by the first units. As for packaging, this very small micro quadcopter comes inside a pretty small box, and inside, along with the quadcopter, you are getting two sets of Gemfen 40mm bi-blade propellers, a Phillips screwdriver, spare screws and nuts, and the recent version also comes with a GNB27 to PH2.0 battery adapter, so you can still use it with batteries that are using PH2.0 battery connectors. In terms of features and specs, the Firefly Baby 1S features the Flywoo Robo RB0802.4 16,500 kV motors. They are secured to the bottom plate using 3 Phillips screws, feature soldering pads on their bottom side for connecting the motor wires between the motor and the flight controller. The diameter of the motor shaft is 1 mm, and the propeller is simply pushed against it. Even though the propellers are not secured using screws, they are still properly secured, and in dozens of flights I did not experience even a single occasion of one of the propellers getting detached mid-air. On the center of the quadcopter, you can find the new Flywoo GOKU Versatile 1S 25.5 by 25.5mm all-in-one F4 flight controller. It features an integrated 5A BLLES 4-in-1 ESC, an optional built-in FrSky D8 SPI-RX receiver, 2 full UART ports, in addition to one that is using soft serial, which you can use in case the SPI-RX receiver is not in use, and also a built-in 40 channels 5.8 GHz VTX that supports IRC tram protocol and has a maximum output power of 250 mW. In addition, on the front of the quadcopter, you can find the Flywoo 1S Nano FPV camera. This is simply a rebranded and lighter version of the Cadex Antlight camera, and it is secured to the frame using a 3D printed TPU mount, which also holds the antenna of the VTX, secures the radio receiver, and also protects the micro USB connector of the flight controller. As for the frame, its wheelbase is 73mm. It features a YDX pattern. The thickness of the bottom unibody plate is 1.5mm. Without a battery, the Flywoo Baby 1S weighs 21.6 grams, and including a GNB 450mAh 1S LHV battery that should provide you with between 3 to 5 minutes of flight time, depending on how you fly, the total weight is 34.7 grams. As for setting it up, here you can see the Betaflight configuration. Everything, including the PID tune, is pre-configured for you, and in case you have the bind-and-fly version, all you have to do is to bind the radio receiver with your radio controller, make sure that all the sticks are working properly, and define your favorite flight modes and OSD elements. You should note, however, that recently the PID tune was updated, so in case you already have this quadcopter, make sure that your PID tune matches mine in order to better enjoy it. The next thing that I've done is to head outdoors and test the Firefly 1S Nano Baby, and I need to confess that I might be biased because I really like micro quadcopters, but this is definitely one of my favorite quadcopters to date, and probably the most favorite one in the lightweight 1S category. The reason for that is, first of all, even though it's not going to provide you with the same experience as flying a 5-incher, it is still powerful for its size, and it is going to provide you with a lot of fun. According to Flywoo, it should even be able to handle carrying a lightweight action camera, such as the Insta360 Go 1 or Go 2. Personally, I think that the Go 2 might be a little bit too heavy for this setup, but it should be able to handle the Go 1, and it is something that I plan to test in an upcoming video. In addition, this setup seems to be pretty efficient. As I mentioned before, using this battery, you can expect between 3 to 5 minutes of flight time, which is pretty good because I wasn't just cruising around, and in case you are not going to push the throttle, you can expect longer flight times, which should be closer to 7 minutes, and if you want to further extend the flight time, you can opt in for a bigger battery, which is of course a little bit heavier, but should provide you with an extra minute or two of flight time. As for durability, which is of course an important aspect, after about 2 hours of flight time and a couple of crashes, it is still intact. However, keep in mind that on a nasty crash, you might damage a motor or more and break the bottom plate, so be prepared. However, most of the chances that due to its lightweight, it is just going to bounce off after a crash, and it's advisable to get more propellers because eventually they are going to wear down. So as you can probably understand, I'm very impressed with this micro quadcopter and I definitely recommend it. And on a side note, I can tell you that I'm also very impressed with this Express LRS receiver by Flywoo, which I've also tested separately. It is definitely a game changer for these micro quadcopters, as the ones that are using SPI-RX receivers in order to save weight are not very reliable in terms of radio link. So with this one, you can get pretty far, and it is going to outperform the video transmitter, which by the way also performed pretty well. Now I'm going to wrap up this video with some flight footage, so I hope you will enjoy the rest of this video. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments section down below. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you like this video, and consider subscribing to my channel and hitting the notifications bell if you're not already subscribed. See you on my next videos, and goodbye.